Following the interview with David Burnett, David has been an alt user for the last 6 months.
My name is David Burnett, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called End-to-End Networks. We're a company that works in the data communications field for the last 20 years.
And where are you based, David?
We're based in the Markham area, which is in southern Ontario.
What products do you use commonly on your computer?
On my computer, which is a laptop, I use 100% of the time JAWS, which is the screen reader software. And with JAWS, I use that to navigate through web browsing, email, the Microsoft Outlook, and through Word. Plus, I'm very much a fan of the Simple Notebook product, which I use extensively as what I call a flat file for keeping names, addresses, appointments, calendars, which I find much easier to use than navigating the Microsoft Outlook programs.
Can you describe your common interactions with your computer, both before and after using Alt?
Moving around from file to file, closing things, opening things, saving things, searching for things, and it was very much a repetition of Alt F4 for those who know how to close a program, Control F for find, and it was tedious, it was repetitious, but it seemed to be the only way to do it. I used an awful lot of shortcuts from the desktop to type in the letter of a file I wanted to go to, and I'd oftentimes use that as my accelerator in trying to get to where I needed to go on the computer. Using those desktop shortcuts also meant that I did not know very much about the computer, its file structure, where things were, how to get at them, and I found that when I became an Alt user, the change was that Alt drew me into understanding the Windows operating systems, starting with XP, and then I've just recently moved to Windows 7. With Alt now, I know the file structure of the computer, where things are kept. I know where to put things when I need to put them. This in itself has given me a much better feeling of independence and control of my computer, my own destiny, you might say. What I like about Alt as an accelerator for me is a lot of the repetitious tasks no longer repetitious. All I do is, for example, when I start up in the day, I'll do an Alt and type the letter B for a flat file. And that flat file is a list of things I like to enter, thoughts of the day, etc. And it's where I check on people's birthdays to see who's coming up. And within that file, I've got several sections I like to go to. So every time I need another section, I go Alt and type in a 2-letter code, and Alt will quickly search for that and read out the line that I've landed on and home my cursor to that line, where I now just type in any of the thoughts I want. And that is amazing compared to all the keystrokes I used to do through JAWS just to accomplish the same simple thing. It's great.
You can do searches like that or cause that file to be loaded from any starting position, right? You could be in the middle of an Outlook and need information off that flat file and cause it to appear immediately. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I go anywhere I want from anywhere I want, and it is really neat, whereas in the past I couldn't do that. And so when I take this first flat file I was talking about, I now, when I finish with it, I just do Alt GTT, go to things. And that opens a new file, and it goes directly to my calendar for the day. And I look down at that calendar, and I know what I'm doing. And if I want to do a search in that calendar for somebody's, in that file for somebody's phone number, I just, within the same file, do an Alt TS for things search, and then the person's name, and there it is, reading out the line. And what also is excellent about it is that Alt cuts down on all of the gibberish, or most of the gibberish of the screen reader, as JAWS always tries to keep us up to speed on what's going on. Alt cuts that down quite substantially.
David, can you give us an example?
Moving a file to junk mail. You're in your Outlook, you get a junk mail, you just do Alt, and I type in JM for junk mail, and it automatically moves it to the junk mail, blocks the sender, and returns me to my inbox. I don't have to worry about it again. The other function I really found neat was the text modules, and that is where I take something, some text that I write all the time. For example, I belong to an association and I like to start off with a certain salutation and a certain ending. And with the text module, very simple to use, I've written up that salutation, I've written up the signature block, and with one easy command, it's typed in there all the time. Word perfect, letter perfect. I don't have to go and proof to make sure I've written it the right way. And then within letters, for example, maybe there's something that's a long phrase. I'll give you an example, 7th Toronto Regiment RCA. That gets to be a real bore to type that out over and over, whereas I can just now type something as simple as comma 7 space, and that whole phrase is put immediately into my document. I don't have to proofread it. It makes life so much more simple.
And this is something that you're able to do yourself, and would you consider yourself a highly skilled computer user?
No, I consider myself a, more of the basic computer user, maybe intermediate. I'm a simple user. Just give me an email, give me letters, that type of thing. I'm not sophisticated with Excel. I'm not sophisticated with PowerPoint. And so,
but these commands that you're referring to, your accelerators and the use of text modules, is this work that you've been able to do yourself?
Oh yeah. And with the text modules, when I do them myself, every time I find something that's repetitious, I just build a text module around it, and which is simple to do, and there it is. It's great. For example, my home address, or if somebody wants my office address, directions to the office. I could direct them to the web page or do something like that. Sometimes I just find it easier to have it written out and use the text module to paste it into my email back to them.
Are there other benefits of Alt that you can describe?
I think I mentioned the bit about a little bit being more independent with doing things. I was thinking about the Alt, how much fun I have developing new macros, opening files, text modules, solving problems, and how this has given me a greater level of independence because I'm not as dependent on others anymore for it. And so while I've been having fun, I've also found it to be a very productive tool for myself.
So you've considered Alt a worthwhile investment of time and money?
Absolutely.
Would you recommend Alt to other computer workers?
Yes, absolutely.